Jay Wheeler looks out the window as he wakes up to car horns. Putting on pants, he swings a golf club. When the woman wakes up, Jay leaves and asks her to lock the door. He won't buy her breakfast, but she asks. The nightclub's bouncer won't let him in. The bouncer recalls Jay's embarrassing acts when he says he can't. Then he loses a race bet. Shaking his head, he reminds himself he's still lucky. He has a drink with Mr. Vincent. Jay says he'll call when nervous. Vincent finds Jay's wallet empty. He demands Jay's $40,000. Jay says he has an online business. According to Vincent's sources, Jay's family is wealthy. Jay says he's divorced and needs money. Jay's card is declined mid-conversation. Mr. Vincent's smile fades as he tells Jay he knows where he lives, works, spends money he doesn't have, and goes on probation. Jay faces consequences if he doesn't get his money by Friday. If Jay doesn't comply, the thick neck beats him. In Los Angeles County probation, Jay laughs as the judge reads his charges. Jay cleans Los Angeles Psychiatrist Hospital on probation. He changes after sweeping. The guard sent away the thick neck saying Jay isn't there. Jay thanks him. He asks Frakel, another janitor, for help. Frakel's staring bothers Jay. After Frakel leaves, guard asks Jay about his brother's wedding. He tells him to wear a tux to impress his open checkbook father. Jay promises to attend his brother's wedding. His mother asks him to talk to his dad. Despite Jay's efforts, his mom hands over the call to his dad. Jay tells his dad the plan is working and that he works at the local psychiatric hospital, in an administrative job. There's a nurse, who is his girlfriend. Dad suggests inviting her. His dad says his mom wants to meet her, but Jay says she's busy. They're coming, says Jay. Hanging up, he realizes his situation. Jay cleans the hospital. Susan, a nurse, keeps working despite his compliments. Jay asks her to attend her brother's wedding. Jay's audacity disgusts Susan. Daisy Kensington is with her. She's barefoot and self-soothing with her arm. Jay adores her. Another nurse scolds Jay for staring at Daisy. The doctor calls Jay. He gave Bryant and Feldmitter alcohol and objectionable magazines. Jay's treatment of mental patients was appalling. Dr. Bert Lehman tells him to clean the floors once. Jay's probation will be violated if he loses his job. Daisy and a nurse wait as he leaves. She watches Jay's cart leave. Daisy's doctor visits. She's lost. She asked the mailman what to do after reading her mother's police report. She has no idea. She hears voices, so she's hospitalized. Daisy is heard looking for the doctor. Frakel impersonates a doctor to take advantage of Daisy, so Jay punches him. Daisy says she meant no harm. Jay tells her not to apologize because the man would hurt her. She's confused because she thinks Frakel is a doctor. Jay tells her to protect herself from Frakel. When Mrs. Neil Berry wakes up, Jay encourages her to go back to sleep. Jay leaves the hospital. He spots her outside. Jay is surprised to see her and tells her to leave. Daisy says she wants to go with him because she hates it here. Why is she barefoot? Jay wonders. When asked about the hospital, Daisy hyperventilates. Jay reassures her. He says she can go wherever. He gives her money to buy shoes. Jay retreats and turns. He wonders if he should take her to his brother's wedding as his girlfriend. Instead of sending Daisy back, Jay makes the executive decision to bring her home with him to New Orleans, Louisiana so that she can be with him for the wedding of his brother. He is eager to demonstrate to his family that he has finally taken control of his life, and as a result, he does not feel embarrassed to bring Daisy along. She reveals to Jay that she was admitted to the hospital after she was responsible for the death of her mother. Daisy has a panic attack as a direct result of Mr. Wheeler badgering her for information while they are attending the wedding. This causes Daisy to feel extremely uncomfortable. Jay's father is worried that something is wrong and wants more information from Daisy. She can provide this information to him. While Jay is assisting her in getting into the cab, he tells his family the truth about who she is, as well as the fact that he is a janitor at a mental health facility and that the only reason he has returned to his hometown is to get money to repay a loan. When he tells his family about this, they are all shocked by it when they hear it for the first time. When Jay and Daisy go to the house where Jay spent his childhood, they look for a set of keys throughout his father's vehicles and eventually locate one in an older RV. This allows them to enter the house. Daisy's boyfriend Jay drops her off at a bus station in Shreveport, Louisiana, to leave her there, although the two of them got along pretty smoothly during the trip. Jay plans to leave her there and never see her again. On the other hand, he winds up changing his mind and deciding to pursue her after having a change of heart. Even though they are both being pursued, Jay for taking Daisy and violating his probation and Daisy for escaping the hospital, their journey turns into an exciting adventure and becomes a source of joy for both of them. They pull over to the shoulder of the road so that Jay, who is the only one who can drive, can take a break and rest while the rest of them continue on their journey. Daisy shakes him awake in the middle of the night to inform him that a police car has just pulled up behind them. She then proceeds to inform him of the situation. Daisy informs the law enforcement officer that her boyfriend, whom she refers to only as Beaver, escaped as soon as he saw the flashing lights, and that Jay is currently hiding in the bathroom cabinet at the same time. Before continuing his search of the RV, the officer reveals to her that his maternal grandfather's nickname was Beaver. He then returns to his investigation. After that, he proceeds with his investigation. The cop looks inside and opens the bathroom door when she tells him there is no water in the bathroom, so they haven't flushed. He immediately closes the door because of the stench. He exits the building and walks into the bush along the side of the road in an attempt to locate Beaver. Daisy, realizing that the police officer would be distracted for a moment, threw away the keys to cop's car so that she and Jay could flee the scene as quickly as possible. This allowed Daisy and Jay to get away from the scene as quickly as possible. As a direct result of this action, Jay has gained a more recent comprehension of Daisy. A couple of nights later, they go to a carnival, which is something that Daisy has never done before, and she later describes the experience as being the best day of her life. Later on, when they make a stopover, Jay calls Dr. Bert Lehman, who was Daisy's attending physician during the time that she was in his care. The next thing she knows, she overhears him saying that he is going to take her back to Los Angeles only to bring her back to the mental institution. Before blacking out, this is the last thing that she remembers clearly. She sobs uncontrollably as she makes her way to the recreational vehicle, where she will be alone, and makes an effort to get away from Jay before he can catch up to her there. Because she is only familiar with the fundamentals that Jay has taught her, she winds up driving the RV in circles all over the parking lot before crashing it. She runs out of the room while crying as soon as Jay opens the door, which is precisely when other people are entering the space to check on how they are doing. After that, Jay forces them both into a restaurant as rapidly as he can. Jay, who is fascinated by Daisy and does not entirely believe she has schizophrenia as her doctor does, asks Daisy if the voices told her to murder her mother. Daisy reveals to him that, contrary to what most people think, her mother was the one who heard the voices, and not her herself. Daisy was under the impression that the death of her mother was her fault because she had ignored her mother's cries for help in the middle of the night, and she was the one who discovered her mother's body the following morning. The body of Daisy's mother had been found by Daisy the day before. While Jay is adamantly trying to convince Daisy that she is not to blame for the death of her mother, a group of police cars pulls up to the diner under the assumption that someone who saw the crash called them to arrest Jay and Daisy. When the officers entered the diner, Jay and Daisy were deep in a passionate kiss when they were interrupted by the officers, who placed handcuffs on Jay and effectively severed their connection to each other. As soon as Jay's mother learns that her son is being held in custody, she makes an effort to convince Jay's father to post bail for him, and he eventually gives in to her persuasions and does so. Jay discovers that the door to his apartment has been kicked in and that his belongings have been thrown all over the place when he returns to his apartment after being away. This has caused Jay a great deal of anger. When he looks out the window, he sees that the loan shark's goon is waiting for him outside, and at that precise moment, the loan shark looks up and notices that he, as well, is there. When he looks out the window, the loan shark also notices that he is there. After successfully evading capture at the apartment complex, Jay makes his way to the mental hospital to visit Daisy there. On the other hand, Dr. Bert Lehman and the other security guards strongly recommend that he leave the facility without further delay. Jay, in an extreme state of hopelessness, decides to go to the train station and lies down on the tracks there. He does this in the expectation that he will be taken to the mental health facility as a suicidal person and treated there. Even though Dr. Bert Lehman is fully aware that Jay is in excellent health and that the entire situation was a hoax, he still permits Jay to leave the hospital and return home. On the other hand, following Jay's insistence that he is contemplating taking his own life, the doctor places him in solitary confinement for some time. Before Jay is taken away, he tells the doctor that it wasn't Daisy who heard voices in the house, rather, it was Daisy's mother. Jay reveals this information just before he is taken away. While Jay is at the hospital, he finds out about Daisy's condition from another patient and confirms that the two of them are being kept apart from each other. Jay learns this information from a patient who is in the same room as him. During this time, Jay is at the hospital receiving treatment. In the evening, Freckle brings a goon who works for the loan shark into the medical facility. The goon then proceeds to go to a room where Jay is being treated and strangles Jay with a chain. After that, Freckle makes his getaway with the money. While Jay is still attempting to free himself from his captors, the patient who had been providing him with information injures the goon by hitting him over the head with a broom. Following this, Jay wakes up in the hospital, where Dr. Bert Lehman tells him that he was correct about Daisy's mother being schizophrenic and apologizes to Jay for Freckle. Dr. Bert Lehman also informs Jay that he was correct about Freckle. Dr. Bert Lehman has concluded that it is in everyone's best interest to have Jay and Daisy released from the institution where they are being held. Before Jay can go meet Daisy, his father sends him a letter with a check for the amount of $40,000 to pay off any outstanding obligations Jay may have. Jay must wait for this to arrive before he can go meet Daisy. After that, Jay looks for Daisy at the main entrance of the medical facility, and once he finds her there, the two of them give each other a passionate embrace and a kiss before walking out of the building hand in hand. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. See you in the next video.